Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Indie Plus Demos Undying. Undying is a game that is currently on Kickstarter, and it is by Paul Riddle, who's with us here tonight to run the game. Thank you, Paul, for being here. So, quickly before we get into it more, this event will conform to the Indie Plus community standards. If you'd like to know more about those, please go to indieplus.org. And as a content warning, you can expect this to be generally rated R for violence, mature themes, and sexual content. We're not going to pull that back on that stuff. We're not going to also likely go super egregious, nightmarishly awful, so not NC-17. But be aware there's probably going to be some mature content, so if you aren't into that or if you aren't interested, just pull back. All right, so with that said, my name is Brendan Conway. I do stuff with Indie Plus and Wrangle Games, and I'm super excited to be playing Undying because I've been a fan of it for a while, and I really want to play a vampire who kills people, maybe for funs. Yeah, so that's me. Andrea, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Andrea, and I am sort of getting to be a professional role player. That's pretty much it. I play too many games. That's why I'm here.
That's a great tagline. Plays too many games. Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm one of the other organizers for Indie Plus, and I'm also really looking forward to playing Undying, especially because it has a bunch of cool diceless mechanics, which I'm a big fan of, so I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Awesome. And, of course, Paul, sir.
Hi, I'm Paul Riddle. I'm the creator of Undying, and I'll be running the game as the GM tonight.
Awesome. So Paul, would you like to take it away?
Sure. Okay, so Undying is a diceless vampire role-playing game of predation and intrigue, and we are going to be playing through a quick start that I'm putting together. That'll hopefully be released early next week in the final days of the Kickstarter. The quick start, of the Kickstarter. The quick start is set in Seattle during the Great Seattle Fire of 1889. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the burning city. So that was an original painting by Nate Marcel, whose fame in game design artistry is he's excellent. I didn't want to try to oversell it too much. Nate's a great guy. He's done the cover for Dungeon World. He's done The Clay That Woke and a bunch of other stuff too. And so that's the painting that he made. It's actually on my wall behind me right now. It's one of the backer rewards. To plug my Kickstarter a little. So if you want it, you can have it. Okay, so nice, cool. So we'll just go ahead and jump into it. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Got my little spiel, so let me get that up. Cool. Okay, so a fire broke out early this afternoon and it is now consuming downtown Seattle. Did it start by accident or by foul intent? By 8:05 this evening, you no longer need to fear the sun, for it is set. However, the fire still rages on, jumping the last fire break. No predator is truly safe, and some have already perished. Cool. So why don't we start by, if you could, Brendan, if you could share the relationship map, and then I think we'll go around and have each of you introduce your characters so you can see how they relate to each other.
Excellent. I'm just going to pull it up quick, make sure I have the right thing. So that should be, there you are. Okay. So this is the relationship map. I'm going to push that button.
Excellent. So, Andrea, why don't we go ahead and start with you?
Okie dokie. So I am playing James. It's the Devil playbook. The Devil is all about sin and violence and just being terrible, so I'm really excited.
Nice. Okay, Brendan, who are you playing?
I am playing George Hook, the sensualist.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I think I'm playing George as a like an East Coast guy who wound up getting pulled out here to the West Coast, and yeah, I'm just really into pleasure. I love pleasure. Pleasure's really good. Sensualist has a move called Bacchanal. It's amazing. Anyway.
Right. We'll get to experience all of the moves that you guys get to make in short order. 2 hours is plenty of time for this game. Mark, why don't you go ahead and introduce your character?
Cool. My character is Mary Ward. She is the nightmare, so I have access to like crazy blood magic and making ghouls. It seems to me blood slaves. Let's see, I did a little bit of look stuff here. So I have really long black hair, kind of shallow features, cold eyes. My skin is always cold, and I kind of look like I'm wet. But when you get close to me, it doesn't. Like my hair is just kind of stringy. It's hard to tell. And I'm half Japanese, so my parents were immigrants, probably relatively recent, before I was turned.
Excellent. Yeah, the Nightmare is for sure my favorite playbook. And you're also George Hook's maker too. So if you look on the map there, there are symbols. So the symbol at the bottom of the relationship map that indicates that you are maker of someone, and the symbol at the top of the other character indicates that they are chosen. So that gives you some advantages if you happen to need leverage over George. So excellent, great. Okay, so the next part is one of my favorite parts of all of Undying, and kind of challenging to do this. Normally, I would grab a couple of fistfuls of blood red tokens and drop them on the relationship map. But since it's a virtual map, we'll have to do it a little differently. So what I want you guys to do is think of a number and just have that many fingers ready. And when I say, okay, go, I'll hold up how many fingers that I'm holding up, and whoever's closest gets to pay the least, and whoever's furthest away gets to pay the most. So, okay, on the count of 3, let's do it.
Are we limiting it to one hand? One hand?
Just one hand, yeah, just
okay,
one hand. So somewhere between 0 and 5.
Okay.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, nice, cool. So both George and James are only are right on, and Mary is 1 away. So that's fine. That's good for you guys. So I'll go ahead and read what happens to Mary. Okay, so when you wake for the evening, spend 1 blood. So that's all of you. Seattle is burning to the ground. Oh, I guess we should go over how much blood you have. So you get right. So blood is a expendable resource that you have. You get it from feeding on your prey, and you spend it to do your cool vampire powers. Your starting blood is equal to your humanity trait plus 3. So the lower your humanity, the less blood you have, but the more blood you might be able to have in the end. So why don't you each tell me your character's humanity, and then you'll have that plus Blinken's plus 7. So Andrea, what is your character's humanity?
Am I just picking one?
Yeah, so you can pick
Okay.
you can pick humane, callous, or monstrous.
I think I'm going to go with callous.
Okay. So callous is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So great. So you start with 9 blood and spend 1 to wait
Okay.
for the evening. Brendan?
Yeah, I think I'm going callous as well. It seems pretty safe. Don't want to be too nice, but I don't quite want to be a raving monster yet.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know Mark's choice will be. But why don't you tell us, Mark?
Well, I'll do something different. So I'll go for monstrous.
Okay. So monstrous is 1, so that gives you 8, and we'll spend the blood to wake up. Okay, cool. So back to the prompt. So you've each spent 1 blood for the evening. Okay, so for each token gathered around your name, and since both Andrea and Brendan guessed correctly that they have 0, Mark, who was off by 1, will spend 1 blood. And so you're actually sorry. You have to choose one of the following, and you may spend a blood to avoid it if you want. And so all of these choices will be issues that will crop up with your hunting grounds because of the fire. So I'll go ahead and read them to you briefly, and you can either choose one of them or spend a blood to opt out. So your first option is your hunting grounds are being evacuated. Reduce its awareness tag by 1. That means that the prey are more wary of everything in general because there's a fire. So any predation on your hunting ground is riskier. The next option you have is your hunting grounds are in ruins. Reduce its abundance tag by 1. The fire has claimed it, but that doesn't mean that there aren't prey coming back to sift through the ruins afterwards. And the third option is there being predators. Was great. I get to bring in this and reduce its abundance tag by 1 because it's being poached. So what would you like?
I will say that the hunting grounds are being evacuated, so I'm going to
Okay.
reduce my awareness tag by 1.
Okay, cool. So yeah, in your character sheet, just move that ticket down by 1, and in the longer term play, you'd have a chance to recover it. But we're just going to play through the fire tonight. Okay, great. So we need to pick somebody to sacrifice here. I'm going to go with Princeps because why not? So Brendan, why don't you put a big red X over Charles Wallingford because lots of people owe him debts. So this again would be traditionally determined by throwing the tokens down, but since we're doing it in virtual space, I'm just gonna be a jerk and just edict it because I can.
And just kill the boss.
Yeah, I mean I get to look through crosshairs, and he's the biggest target for sure. Great. Yeah, so you can see that both James and Mary owed the Princeps major debts, and so that's motive for murder for sure. And Catherine, who the Princeps owed a major debt to, is put out in a big way because that was a huge deal and a great savings bond that she had, and now that's gone. So you've got a new enemy, potentially. So we'll find out if one of you killed the Princeps or not. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
That's what I was going to ask. We do not yet know how he died. Okay.
Well, you guys, maybe you do. We'll find out as we play, though.
Excellent.
Okay, cool. So to escape from the firestorm, you've made your way to the waterfront. The Olympic Mountains are silhouetted darkly against the red-orange summer sky, and the same hues sparkle on the sound, mirroring the doomed city at your back. You're all gathered in uncomfortably close quarters near the charred remains of Yesler's Wharf, and so I'll choose one of the following prompts. Yes. So I think the rumors have spread around that the Princeps has died, in the fire, and how exactly the Princeps came to be killed is not clear. But rumor has it that James Seward, the Devil, who has always, who I think has a reputation for violence and antagonism. Rumor has it that you have killed the Princeps and are responsible for their death and the fire. So looking around at these other predators here, I think you can hear the sort of buzz and you have I think you have a sense that you're getting blamed for this, whether or not you did it. So I'll let you decide personally. You can decide whether or not you actually did it, and how that comes out in play, we'll find out. Okay, so you are down at the wharves. The wharves are near Skid Row, which I believe is actually your hunting grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So these two interlopers are, while not exactly encroaching on your turf, are dangerously close anyway. So how are you going to deal with George and Mary?
Well, I think I have some sort of minor, or yeah, Mary
Minor
owes
debt.
me some sort of minor debt for protection,
Right.
Yeah.
which this sort of falls into pretty perfectly.
Yeah. Do you want to define that a little bit and say maybe there was some other predator that was encroaching on my territory, and you helped me shoo them off?
Shoo them off. Oh, that's such a nice way of putting it. Sure,
Yeah.
definitely.
Cool. Good. All right. So yeah, I owe you a minor debt for that.
Yeah. So, since this is pretty close to my territory, and since we do have that already going for us, I think I'm going to track her down for sure to extend an invitation until the fire blows over.
Yeah, I think they're all gathered around. I mean, it's easy to track those two down. And being Maker and Chosen, there's probably an opportunity there to get not one but perhaps two predators on your side. And remember that Mary, who also owed the Princaps a debt, is also under suspicion too. Although I think folks are leaning towards James for sure. Now, if the two of you teamed up, boy, I think that all the rest of the predators in the community would be highly motivated to exact revenge, perhaps. But that's your choice. No pressure. Just
No pressure.
Just fair warning though. That's my next play.
Okay. So yeah, James, whoever I'm playing,
Right.
we'll just stride on up as as confidently as if they were actually in his territory. Mary, my dear, it's a shame to see you here with the rest of them.
Uh-oh. You want to mute Mark?
Yeah. Well, it's dangerous out there, isn't it? All the fires.
And how is your territory? It
Oh,
hasn't fallen to the flames, has it?
Mary's sort of idly picking something out from underneath her fingertip. She has like a little metal. It's not clear what it is. Maybe a piece of something. She says, "No, they're evacuating, so everybody's leaving. But
Oh,
I'm sure they'll be back soon."
oh, I'm sure. Of course, we haven't seen a fire like this in some time.
All sorts of things have happened tonight that haven't happened in some times, have they, James?
That's what I've heard.
You wouldn't know anything about Charles, would you?
Of course not. My dear Maker?
Our dear Maker, James.
Hmm.
Our.
Well, since we are siblings, if there's anything you need, of course you can call on me.
Anything.
Is there something you have in mind, Mary?
Just the truth. Nothing special.
And Ames kind of glances out over the rest of the people gathered there, knowing full well everyone's listening. It says, I have some theories on that subject, if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah, of course. Go on.
Not here. Why don't we take a walk?
A walk. Then we would look like conspirators, James. People would think we had secrets. I wouldn't want that.
Oh. Well then, I suppose I shall have to take matters into my own hands and let the axe fall where it will.
Good luck. Mary,
Yep. I was going to
Mary,
say he'll turn on his heel.
yeah. Mary looks around. I have a blood slave, right?
Sure. Tell us about them.
Yeah. So I have Mercer, a well-groomed blood slave.
Excellent.
And I distribute a number of blood tokens equal to my humanity +2. So I only have 3, so I'll just give all 3 to him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look around because I told him to meet me down here, and I want to see if he's around.
I think that he is wherever you want him to be.
Great, yeah. So I motion for him to come over.
He walks on up. How is he dressed? I mean, what is he to you in at least in his public capacity?
Yeah, so I recognize that I am probably super creepy to regular people. So anything that I need to get done, Mercer does for me, right? Because it's among other vampires, I'm not that weird, right? Like I'm scary, but I'm not very high in the status. Like, most people don't think very much of me, but among humans, like if I walk into a bank, I look like a fucking monster. So so Mercer is dressed in a suit. He's a 3-piece suit on. He's sort of upper middle class kind of person that can go places and do things for me when my normal creepy demeanor would attract too much attention. So I say, and I treat him like he's a very like I kind of think of like him being like Wesley in Kingpin, right? Like I treat him like a very I make this big show of caring about him in a way that probably isn't true if I was really pressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mercer.
Right.
Mercer. You know James, right?
So I gotta ask you a question though. How do you expect him to address you? Because this is I think really important and really telling.
Yeah. That's good. I think he probably addresses me as Mrs. Ward, right?
Mrs. Ward, I see. Not Ms., but Mrs.
Mrs. Ward, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't understand, Mrs. Ward. Whom?
James Stewart.
Oh, and like the two of you are standing right next to each other, right?
But she walked away. James walked away, so he's a little bit of a distance.
I see. Well, seems a bit rough around the edges.
Yes, my brother is aggressive. I need you to look in to his whereabouts for the last day. I want to know where he's been.
I will do my best, of course.
Of course, Mercer, of course. Yes. The best is all I could demand.
Great. So you have some options that I get to spend blood. So why don't you briefly read through
Sure.
the blood slave options, and then I'll ask you which, if any of those, that you're going to do to poor Mercer.
Yeah, so when I feed my blood to my prey, I own them. The blood I feed them is now theirs. They're still mortal, but they're a blood slave. They can keep up to 5 blood. When they have 0 blood, they crave more with Mad Fury. So having 3 means he's kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
When you impose your will on your blood slave, the GM spends 1 of their blood as follows: once per week to keep your blood slave in thrall, once per night when you compel your blood slave to perpetrate vile deeds, and once per hour when you take possession of your blood slave mind and body. Um, so I think it sounds to me like a once per night thing, right? So I'm compelling him to do, like dig up somebody's past, follow them around. I don't know if it's really vile, but it's in that ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm thinking you're still probably at the once per week level, and
Oh,
and
okay,
I mean
cool.
because he will. I don't know. I mean, you can tell us maybe how this manifests for him, but I think when you compel him, you put the whammy on him, and his will is not really his own, and I think he will do whatever he can to avoid that.
Yeah,
So simply asking him to do a thing, I think we can tick off one of his blood, to maintain his, for the week.
sure.
Um,
That
and,
makes
and,
sense.
if, and if you feel the need to be more directive,
Escalates.
yes, escalate, right. So,
Cool.
yeah, if that's okay with you, I think he tries to maintain his best poker face, and knowing that meddling with other predators as a mere prey is very dangerous, and he's likely to lose his life. But that's still better than being under your thumb. So
Right.
so I think so yeah, he's in a 3-piece suit. I feel like he's got to have some kind of proper hat or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he'll tip his hat and ask you if there's anything else that you require.
No, Mercer. No, there isn't.
Well, then I will take my leave, Mrs. Ward. So I think he's got like a coach, around
Sure.
around here, and so he scurries off. Excellent. So, George, what are you doing while all of this is happening?
Yeah, so I have this move idle, which means I have devotees. So I'm imagining that these people are like, I present as like an East Coast wealthy business type, and I'm so successful that it's all a lie. But I can present it really well, and so I have this gathering of like young people, attractive young people who believe in me and who think that I can guide them in their business endeavors, and so on. They think I'm the bee's knees, as kids would say. So what I've been doing is I've been essentially trying to connect with some of them and get information from them. They give me 2 offerings, and so I chose sex and secrets. And so I want secrets from them. I want them to be giving me as much information as they can about who killed the Princeps in the city. Yeah, so I've been like doing the whole speech to them, and if they express nervousness, I'm like, you don't understand. A burning city is a city of opportunity. And like pitching them to go out into the city and bring back information, and I'll just stay here as the spider at the center of a network of stupid young people.
So what are the troubles that you have?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask about that.
Sorry.
So
Can't
quickly,
let that go.
Quickly, what does distractions mean?
Well, what does it mean? They're obviously distracted by something. So what is competing for their attention?
Sure. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll take distractions, and I think they're distracted by. Trying to think. Like, they're all attracted by
Fire
me.
might be the thing,
Well,
right?
yeah, they're definitely distracted by the fire, if nothing else. Yeah, that's fair. They're distracted by the fire and their own
I
survival.
mean, it's up
and
to
their
you,
own
right?
families.
So something else is on their mind competing for your sway over them.
Right. They all have...
if you-
They have their own businesses, they have their own business interests, they have their own families. So, like, as much as I'm trying to get them out to go out and do stuff, they're also worried about, oh no, is my business going to catch a flame? What do I have to do to save my business? And so they all have their own affairs to deal with.
Gotcha.
And the other one I chose was newcomers. I think that's because, like, again, I'm this weird version of an 19th century, like, motivational speaker. So I keep bringing in new people. And so, yeah, there's always friction between, like, the new people who've come in and the old ones who are annoyed about these stupid newcomers. And, yeah.
I see. So, with the distractions, I think you have maybe one or two or three of them with you here at the docks. It's up to you, and tell us who you have there, and tell us what it is you're trying to get them to do.
Sure. Right. So I have, let's see. I have Samuel. I'm going to write this down. Samuel Lyons. I have Georgia Mossman. And I have Andrew Carpenter. And, you know, they're all at different levels, but I'm trying to get them to go out and give me information on specifically the death of the Princeps in particular, because I want to know what the story is there. So I'm having, for instance, Samuel, I think, he sells goods to, like, the police. So Samuel is, he has contact there. And so Samuel can go out to talk to whatever law enforcement Seattle has and try and bring back information from some of that. Andrew, I think, has... Andrew just is lower and has contacts in a lot of the working class parts of the city, so he can go out running to them and ask them if they've heard anything about the fire and what started it in case the two are connected. And Georgia, let me see. Yeah, Georgia is totally, what's the word? Gosh darn it. Ambitious on her own. She really is interested in moving up, but at the moment her positioning is such that she's, like, in that club of wives of important people, and so she knows, like, the mayor's wife, and she knows, ex-wife, and so on and so forth, and so she can pull secrets in from them about anything important going on in the city. And so I imagine that Charles Wallingford, even though he was a vampire, was to some extent known in some of the circles of the city. So these sources of information, I'm hoping, will give me some trickling back in of what happened.
Sure. Okay, great. So you're sending them off to those various places, those various corners of the city to learn more about the fire and if possible, what happened to the Princeps.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I think that let me ask you this, Mary. Do you have some sort of sixth sense, some deeper connection to Mercer? I mean, he has your blood.
Yeah, I think I get emotional resonance from him. So if he's in danger, scared, or panicked, or angry, I can feel it. But that's it. That's pretty limited.
Okay. So I think that you get a sense from him, and he's not afraid. You get the sense that he's on the hunt and that he has a competitor. And are you able to essentially give him impressions back?
Yeah, but I think it's not quite like telepathy. It's pretty limited. So I'll just sort of beam back a kind of encouragement, right? Like, keep at it.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so I think this is potentially an opportunity for you and for George to meddle with each other.
Okay.
So I think by default, what's going to happen here is that since Mercer is a blood slave, so I think basically what's going on behind the scenes here is that Mercer and Georgia travel in similar circles, and that he is picked up on this competing agenda to learn the truth, and I think he's now motivated to put a stop to that by what we've just discovered from his interactions with Mary, and so I think that's going to happen unless either, well, I think that ball's in your court, George, unless you want to try to do something about.
Sure. I do not want Georgia to be gone. Make her not gone.
Yeah, she might not. I mean, I don't know that Mercer is necessarily going to kill her, but certainly will. She will not be in play. You'll have a pawn that has been sacrificed, whether permanently or not. We'll see.
Yeah, knowing Mary and the kind of creature Mary creates. Yeah. All right, so how should I do this? And should I just narrate how I, George Hook, am doing something to help Georgia? Or should I narrate what Georgia does to sort of save herself?
So this is what you are doing, or if you're able to do something through her. I don't know that I don't know that you are, but I mean, if you have some clever idea. So I mean, I think you have the ability to escalate if you so let's. Yeah, so if you have an idea of how you want to do that, let's talk through
it. Sure. Okay, so to be clear, like just in terms of the fiction right now, I sent Georgia out, but Mercer is glomming onto her and figuring out that she's looking for the same information, so she's like being trailed by him, is the idea.
Yeah, and so we'll need to figure out what you know, and like, I mean, are you keeping close tabs on all of your followers? Is that how you are? Is that how you are able to interfere?
Yeah. I think so. I think especially because Georgia is probably going to. She's probably close because a lot of these people, the more upper class people, have moved out of the fiery parts of the city to be safer by the water. And so I can easily follow her and get there. And I also imagine that I can similarly contact some of the same people, talk to them on my own if I need to cover more ground. So I am, yeah, I sort of was trailing her as she was heading out here.
So I think maybe you catch Mercer's scent on the wind, and know that I mean he's got Mary's blood, and I think a predator can sniff out another predator, and their ghouls, as it were, their blood slaves.
Yeah.
So okay, you catch Mercer's scent on the wind, and you know that Georgia is in danger. So what do you do?
Yeah. So this is I just, without even Georgia really knowing, right? I just want to sort of step out of an alley right in front of Mercer and stop him as he's trailing her, and just be like, Mercer, so good to see you again. How are you doing? How's Mary treating you?
Of course. So yeah, Mary. So Mercer, you're getting the sort of I'm on the hunt, things are going well vibe to the oh shit panic vibe. And so so how do you react to that? So Mercer's obviously run afoul of some trouble. I can spend a blood of his to give you possession of him if you'd like.
Yeah, why don't we do that? I will take possession of him.
Cool. So what does it look like when you do that? Do you see through his eyes? What happens to him? What happens to you?
So I'm probably like back at my haven or something, right? Or somewhere safe if I'm going to be willing to do this, because I kind of just go slack, right? Like I just sort of fall over, right? And for him, he kind of jerks a bit, and then he kind of reanimates, but he's got my expressions and like more of my voice, and it's obvious.
Right.
And does he have like sort of like puppet moves? Are they all sort of
I think
everything?
especially at first it's kind of jerky, and then as I get into it, I can pretend to be him more. So like if I need to go in and do something, I can take control of him, and then there's some time period where I can kind of puppet him effectively. I think it was like being John Malkovich, right? Which takes me some practice to like get him right. So I kind of crawl inside him, and I know he hates it. It's not good. But
that's why you have to spend blood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I say, George, get out of my way.
Why would I do that, Mary?
I'm looking into something.
Well, so am I. Isn't that funny?
What are you looking into, George? Your sex and drugs interrupted by something?
Well, there is a fire. I don't know if you noticed. Do your eyes still open?
I know about the fire, George.
Well, that's good. I'd hate to see you burn.
Yes. It would be sad for you. My sire, Charles, is gone, and I intend to find out who killed him.
Oh. See,
Certainly.
Here I was thinking it might have been you.
No. Not really my style. It's, how do I put this? Something a child should do for their sire. If I was to disappear, I would hope that you would do it for me.
Of course. Certainly. Sure.
If you're already looking into it, I suppose I should have expected that. I should have accounted for it.
I am very good at learning secrets, Mary. I mean, there is a reason why you chose me in the first place.
It's true. Very well. Find out who killed him for me, then.
Oh, well, I was going to do that anyway, but why do I tell you?
Why? Because it's in your best interests. Now, how do I trigger the bargain move? Like, do I have to sort of offer something, or it sounds to me like you're trying to, it's sort of like I have to flag it as me saying I'm going to like assert my status, right?
Sure. So let's why don't we take a jump back to the relationship map and get that up there so we can see what's going on with it, and we'll talk about debts and how you bargain.
Hold on a second. Okay. There it is. Found it. Share. All right.
Okay, cool. So let's take a look. So George owes you a major debt. Okay. So if you weren't, so you're also his maker. So if the move, you are higher in the pecking order because not only are you George's maker, but George owes you a major debt, and you owe him nothing. So your options are, so basically you have all the leverage you need to coerce him into doing something for you. Right. So you just start by making a demand.
Yeah. So
and then George, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think my demand was that he look into this for me. Right.
So you give him that look, that I don't know what it is. That look, like, okay, you're gonna do this for me. This is not a negotiation. I see. Yeah, so George, you're getting, you know that Predator Custom dictates that to refuse uh, would spell disaster for your career as a predator. But that doesn't mean you have no recourse. Uh, so Mary makes a request. How do you handle that?
Right. I'm not against doing it for her. I just don't want to do it for free.
Of
Um,
course not.
so, of course not, right? That would be who does things for free. So I mean, it probably is too much to have that major debt forgiven, but I wouldn't mind Mary owing me a minor debt for this.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, for sure. This is not currently major debt worthy. So yeah, minor debt is a favor, not a one that would risk your life necessarily or limb or status. But this is certainly minor debt worthy, and so yeah, you can if you want to right now you can demand a minor debt from Mary, or you can demand something else right now.
Uh, yeah, I can't think of anything else, so I'll just go with minor debt.
Minor debts are good. So yeah, so you would draw an arrow from Mary to you on the relationship map, and just and label it minor, and then basically just briefly describe on there what it's for. So I think it's for uh,
Investigating Charles's death.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And there it is.
Great. Okay, cool. So now that you've made your bargain, um, how do you part?
I'm all smiles and pleasantries.
Yeah, I release my hold on Mercer and leaving him with the instructions to, you know, go with George and make himself useful.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Does Mercer have any recollection of what happens to him or what he does while you have possession of him?
Yeah, he kind
Okay.
of gets like locked up in a little box when I do that.
Well, so does he like? Is he like just kind of seeing through his eyes, like he's watching events happen on a movie screen or something? Is he just kind of sitting there watching his body move around and Okay. Okay, so you knows full well what you've done, and you're able to implant a parting instruction.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah. So Mercer kind of twitches again and his facial features change. I mean, they really resemble you while you have your hold of him, and then as soon as you release that hold, it's Mercer again. Well, it's always a little bit less Mercer every time. I mean, let's be honest, but it's Mercer, and so Mercer kind of shakes it off and gives you a look, George. Okay, I guess we're doing this. And you can tell that he's not overly thrilled with this prospect, but he has his marching orders.
Come, Mercer. Oh, I'm just so happy to be spending more time with you. Tell me, how are things? And I'm chattering away as we go.
Of course, of course. Do you have regular interactions with Mercer? Or does he go on errands with you often?
I think probably a fair number of times. I think there's also an element here where, like, before Mercer was this role, I was this role for Mary. So
Oh.
I totally wrote that in, right?
So you understand full well.
Yeah, exactly. I got upgraded, and he's just a blood slave.
Well, he might get a promotion here at some point.
That's true, and I wouldn't regret it.
There's a new opening at the top, which if Mary's clever, she may fill. Okay, great. I think we'll cut there, and we'll move back to James and see what he's up to. So James, Mary and George have scurried off to their own corners of the city, and your hunting grounds are free and clear of other meddling predators. Um, Now might be a good opportunity to hunt and feed. What do you think? What are you up to?
I am doing that.
Excellent.
There's a particularly dark section of town where there's a lot of prostitution activity.
Oh, so you're on Skid Row, right? That's your that's your hunting ground. So that's where all of the how do I put it politely? How all of the most down on their luck, hardest pressed individuals end up to uh, drink and drug their lives away, you know, in sorrow and misery. And so, yeah, there's prostitution there. It's the lowest and ugliest form of it. And if that's where you're after, if that's what you're after, you have it in spades.
It is. So I'm going to grab John.
So before we do this, so first you're going to make the move hunt, and that's how we figure out who it is that you're tracking down.
Okay.
Okay, so the move hunt, when you stalk your prey, you track down a corner victim. The GM, that's me, describes them and how they try to escape you. Since you're looking for a John, say that's what you're looking. That's who you're after.
Okay.
So
Maybe I should explain my whole plan to you before we. We can definitely do the hunting thing because I totally want to do that. But I wanted to actually make the move bad company.
Oh, okay. So this is a regular that you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, since I'm terrible at naming, we'll just call your John, because that way I don't have to think of anything new.
I'm sure it was a common name in the 1880s. It's fine.
Yeah, it still is, right? So, yeah. So, tell us a little bit about. Well, tell us. Describe your move, bad company, because I think that'll be interesting for everyone listening. And then, why don't you tell us a little bit about John?
Okay. So, bad company. Basically, it allows me to. So when I exploit a prey's want or vice, I spend 1 blood to sink my hooks into them. From that point on, they need me to fulfill their vice, and they basically become my personal little junkies. So I can ask them to do something for me, and they will attempt to do it if it is in their power.
But tell us about John and what are you exploiting?
Okay, so John is he's a blue collar worker. Can't talk. Blue collar worker. He's a former sailor, so he's kind of got like the big buff, and he's very tattooed, and but he doesn't do that anymore. He's got a bad leg or something due to scurvy, because scurvy happens. So I'm basically I've asked John to do a few things for me in the past, and he has a real hang-up for prostitutes. He really likes the pretty ones that you find, in other parts of the city, but he can't afford them. So that's what we trade.
Okay. So he sees you and he's like, he looks around both ways and comes to you and says, "Look, I need my fix. You know that I can't get what I want here."
I know. And my character will put an arm kind of around his shoulder and kind of guide him kind of across the street. And kind of leans in to talk to him a little more confidentially. But I'm going to need something from you first.
All right, what are we talking?
So you know that fire that's torn apart the city?
Yeah. He looks around, the city's glowing everywhere.
And James grins, and it's a very predatory grin that shows just a little too much teeth.
Uh-huh.
There's one part that's burned out, and I need you to go poke around for me. See if you can't bring me something back. And I'll give him basically the Charles's address, wherever his haven was. And I'll describe it's a pin about probably 4 inches long, and it's got a very, the very ornate seal, which was basically his symbol of power.
Okay. So you see the gears turning in John's head. You're describing this wealthy person's estate, and he's thinking, man, I could probably take some other trinkets too that might be valuable. So he's getting this idea like, okay, I could go do that for you, and maybe I could, get money or gold or jewelry or something that I can use for myself as well. So you can see this mental calculus going on in John's head as you're explaining this to him, and he kind of nods and gets this smile on his face too. So go ahead and spin your blood and.
Okay. I was gonna say, I keep saying that. James kind of snaps his finger in front of his face. Hey, focus. I need you to bring that back to me. You bring it to me, and I'll make sure that you have, let's say, 3 bodies to keep you company tonight.
It's June. It's June in Seattle, so it's nice and warm. And so he smiles and says, "Yeah, the night is cold, so it would be good to have some warmth." And he smiles and sort of nods and scampers off. So I think So as he heads off towards the burning wreckage of the city, what do you do? Where do you go from there?
Now I can go hunting.
Now you can go hunt. Okay. Now that you've hatched your little plot, you can go get what you need. Okay. Cool. So let's do that. So when you hunt, so what are you looking for? So you've got John going to do a business errand for you. What is your type? So, like, again, you've got all of the derelicts of the city infest your hunting grounds. Do you just take whatever's easy, or do you have a type?
Well, same thing kind of gets boring after a while, but the prostitutes don't mind it getting a little rough, so.
Well, I mean, when you're down on your luck, you gotta take what you can get, I suppose. Okay.
True story.
So, I think you find a poor working girl who appears to have some sort of obvious disease, some kind of blotchy skin and sunken eyes, and she's down on her luck, and so she looks like she was probably healthy and fit beforehand, and now the skin just sort of is hanging from her bones. I mean, she's just like she's kind of wasting away, but she's got these dead eyes and is kind of looking around. Her eyes kind of slowly raise up, and she makes direct eye contact with you. So I guess we should talk about. Well, I may have got ahead of myself, but so I think that is at least a option. So basically, when you hunt, you get to choose a number of options based on your status. Because you're hunting on your own hunting grounds, you get to choose one additional option, and if you want to choose more, you can spend blood 1 for 1 to do it. So your options include stalking your victim quickly. I think that's probably something you'd like to do, and I think we've kind of, certainly are on that track. You can stifle your victim's screams to avoid spooking the prey. That's important if you don't want to rouse them to action. You can gently subdue your victim if you want to, or not. And you can attempt to evade the prying eyes of your fellow predators if you don't want them to confront or interfere with you. So
Okay,
you
and I
have two
spend
choices.
blood for each of those?
Well, you get to choose two of them for
Okay.
free, so to speak, because you have status 1 plebeian, and you're on your own hunting ground. So two of those are yours right now.
Okay, so I'll do the quickly and the stifle screams.
Okay. And are you at all concerned about evading the prying eyes of your fellow predators?
Not so much.
And are you concerned at all about her well-being?
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay, so yeah, so you don't gently subdue her. So, um, at what point do you tip your hand that you're not just there for solicitation?
Oh, we're definitely going to get her into, a back alley or, somewhere where a prostitute would be comfortable doing her own business.
Right, because you don't spook the prey, so that's important. But how do you? So then at that moment though, when you reveal your your true predatory nature to her, how do you do it? And so I can gauge what her reaction must be.
Okay, so I think he likes to do it so he causes a little fear, like they know something's about to happen, but it's only like 2 or 3 seconds before he's, on feeding.
Enough for a gasp, but not an
Yeah.
actual scream. I see.
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
So it's probably the like, so she's facing him, and there's the glint of the teeth,
Oh,
and kind of roughly puts his hand over her mouth and turns her head.
uh, excellent. And she begins to struggle, but she can hardly resist your strength. Great. So you've hunted successfully. Now it's time to feed. So feeding starts when you sink your fangs in. So you sink your fangs in, no doubt. Um, so you may. So when you do that, you take blood from them. You are intuitively aware of the physiological impact that taking blood from them has on their body. You can take 1 or 2 blood that leaves them tipsy. You can take 3 blood, leaving them ill. 4 blood leaves them in desperate need of medical attention, and 5 kills them. You may choose a number of options equal to your humanity plus 1, and only the options you choose are true. So your humanity is callous, right?
Yes.
Okay, so callous is 1, so that means that you can choose up to 2 of these. You don't have to choose any of them if you don't want to. So option number 1, stop feeding when you want to. You choose how much blood you take. Option number 2, you resist the temptation to terrorize your prey and hurt them for sport or pleasure. Option number 3, you manipulate your prey's memories so they don't remember you in their nightmares. And option 4, you close the wounds you left on your prey's body, concealing the telltale signs of your predation. So depending on how much blood you take and whether you want to kill them, some of these options you may or may not need to actually choose, but that's up to you.
Okay, well, we don't want to actually kill her.
Oh, okay, that's good because you're callous, not monstrous.
Right. So I think stopping when I want to is important.
Okay.
And then also the altering the memories and leaving no marks.
Okay, so that's 3 choices.
Right.
So you have your humanity. Oh, you're callous, right? So that your humanity is 2, right? Okay, so yes, you have 3 choices. My bad. I thought you had 2. Okay, so the one thing you don't do though is you don't resist the temptation to terrorize your prey and hurt them for sport or pleasure.
Yeah.
Correct. So how much blood do you take, and when you do terrorize your prey, is it for sport or pleasure, or is it just a matter of course?
I think he's unnecessarily rough, but he's not playing games or doing anything else to her. He's just not as nice as he could be.
So she struggles, and instead of just simply pinning her or whatever, you Yeah.
Fight a
Okay.
little harder or something. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. And how much blood do you take?
3.
3 blood. Okay. So she's ill, but she's already ill. So I think that she sort of passes out in your arms as you take that blood, and you feel that her pulse weaken, but continue. What do you do with her limp form?
Just kind of set her up against the wall of the alley.
Okay. So where to next?
So I'm gonna go to hang out. I assume it's like a dive bar or something where John knows he can find me.
Okay, sure. Um, and with the pen in hand, I suppose.
Sorry, you
Okay,
kind of broke
cool.
up.
Oh, sorry. So you're gonna wait for him to come back with pen in hand. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
And I
Okay.
like to people watch.
Nice. Your next meal may walk in at any moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, so I think we're gonna head back to Mary because I think George. We'll cut to George when because he's out and about looking for facts and stuff. So I think Mary is the next your opportunity next to the scheme.
Sure.
What do you
So
want to do?
I'm thinking I want to go talk to some of the patricians, but I don't want to go in there at half blood. So I think I'm going to feed first, see if I can get myself into a position where I'm ready to confront some powerful vampires.
Sure.
So I think my territory around the ward house, which is I think the ward house is maybe like a settlement house. So like it's like a place where people came to live to do like charity work, 30, 40 years ago. And I think my mother owned it before me, but she's gone and I own it and people kind of come and go through it. And of course it's being evacuated, but I'm going to see if I can maybe pull somebody aside and especially somebody who looks like they might be a refugee or might be fleeing. And
Right. Okay, so we'll do hunting for you too. So you're hunting on your own hunting grounds, right?
Yep.
So what is your hunting grounds abundance now that it's been poached?
My abundance. No. It was the awareness that was.
Oh,
was
the awareness.
changed.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's evacuated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get to pick one of these, right? Or two of them.
Your status number of options equal to your status for hunt. And if you're hunting on your hunting ground, you get to choose one additional option. Yeah, so you get to pick 2 by default, and you can spend blood to do more if you want.
Okay, cool. I'm going to pick that I stifle my victim's screams and that I definitely evade the prying eyes of my fellow predators.
But not quickly and not gently.
Right.
Okay, so all right, so I think it takes you. So the not quickly part, I think it takes you probably a while. I mean, the ward house is kind of up on the hill, so maybe it takes you a while to get back up there. And since it's everyone's on high alert, I mean, finding somebody who's an easy victim is not they're not quite as prevalent. So what kind of prey do you look for when you hunt?
Generally, I want to look for somebody who's kind of like a working class, like bigger guy. They tend to be filled with, I would assume, they have more blood. They're a bigger person.
Do you look for men exclusively, or men and women? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I think I pretty much feed on men, mostly, middle-aged men, because they'll be a little less feisty, especially running away. And I'm kind of freakishly strong, right? So I look kind of helpless, but then I'm way stronger than they are.
Yeah, so I think I think you hear a woman calling to her husband. It kind of echoes through the street a little bit, and you hear his response back, and you can kind of tell from the thrashing noises around that there's there's a man upstairs in the building who's rummaging through belongings or something, and she's yelling at him, you've got to find my ring, you've got to find my ring, and so she's out on the street. It's easy for you to get into the building, and you can he's making a lot of racket, so you know where to find him.
Great, cool. Yeah, so I sneak up on him through the thing. I think I just kind of move very silently and quickly, as if my feet aren't really touching the ground.
Nice, excellent. Okay, so you chose stifle his screams and evade prying eyes. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's kind of the. And she's, have you seen it? Yeah. Did you check my nightstand? And then the rummaging, and then it just stops all of a sudden. It just gets eerily quiet. So you sink your fangs in, I presume.
Yeah. I come up behind him, and right before he turns, I grab around his mouth, and just with my sort of iron grip, hold it tight and sink my teeth into his neck.
Nice. Great. Okay, so humanity +1. So your humanity is monstrous is 1, right? So you get to choose 2 of these. Okay.
2 of those. Well, I will take. You heal, close the wounds you left on your prey's body, so nobody can tell what I did. And I will resist the temptation to terrorize them.
Okay, but not stop feeding when you want to.
I'll take all 5, man.
Well, if you don't choose when you stop feeding, I get to choose when you stop feeding.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take as much as it seems right.
How much blood do you have in you right now?
I only have 7.
You only have 7's pretty good, right?
I could take 15.
You can take 15. So you're I think yeah. So I think you take all of the blood from this poor fool. And I think that when you do, when the I don't know, maybe it's the excitement, the interaction you've had with George, but when your eyes just kind of roll back a little bit as you just enjoy the taste of warm blood filling your mouth. When you kind of you can maybe lose yourself a little bit in that ecstasy, and when you kind of when you're back in the moment again, you realize that you in fact now have the wife outside. You have her in your arms, dragged into the building as well. So I'll let you decide if you want to kill her or not. But her husband is laying there pale as a corpse. Well, actually a corpse, a pale corpse. And you see her nightstand there and everything, and I think just there's a glint of the ring. And so I think you can decide for yourself whether you take all of her blood and let her die, or if you take some of it and let her live.
I'm actually not going to take any of it. I would like to make her a blood slave instead.
Okay, well I think you're taking some of it.
Oh, I'm already taking some. Cool.
You decide if you want to give some of it back and make her a blood slave. That's
cool. Yeah. So I will take 3 and top out, and then give whatever I can back to her so that she's. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Cool. So when you take in blood, and so when you give her blood back, you spin blood from your blood pool back to her.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll
call her. Oh.
I'll give her 2 back.
Carolyn. And she has 2 blood. So what is it like for your prey when they first become a blood slave?
I think it's pretty disconcerting. Like, they get lost, right? They're pretty dazed, and they're sort of processing it. Like, the trauma's there, but they're kind of sort of loose. They're like, their mind's like reconstructing itself. And so I just tell her, something very bad has happened. You've had a very unfortunate accident. But luckily, I'm going to be here for you now. This house, this place, you need to make it secure. So I'm going to need you to make a room in the basement that's secure. And I know that like not all of that is getting through to her, but I kind of do it a couple of times and really drive it home. It's like, I want you to take the body and put it down there for now, and we'll deal with it tomorrow. But this is all going to be much better for you, much better. And I want her to sort of set up a second haven in case I need to like get out and like not just like go to ground after all this madness. Yeah. Like I want a place I can hole up for the day.
Yeah, and so I don't think she responds or acknowledges or even blinks as you're doing this. I think she's just this blank slate, and her, all her features are just kind of sunken a little bit, like she's kind of given up on motor control, but she just stands there just like a statue, and as time wears on, she kind of starts going through these mechanical motions and starts, trying to pick up her dead husband. She's not quite as strong as him at first, as the blood starts taking hold, so she'll grab him by the collar a little bit and drop him, and this, you can kind of, you see the effects that you want. They begin to work as you sink your hooks into her. Excellent. So I think we'll jump over to George. I think we have half an hour left scheduled, but I don't know if you're wanting to, since we got a bit of a late start, if you want to go a little further. But we'll just play that out as we go. Cool. Okay, so George, you're heading into the lion's den, right? You're going into the fire. Well, not into the fire per se, but into the threatened areas to try and find evidence of the Princeps murder.
Yeah, I mean, I was following Georgia in particular, who was probably heading to where a lot of the elite had fled to for safety. But now that I've got Mercer following me, I think I would dip more into some of the more endangered parts of the city, because I can use him as a meat shield if I need to. And I imagine that I may be trying to hook up with a couple more of the people I know in these myriad areas to see what they can tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think as you're doing that, well, let me ask you this. We've already kind of established that you can smell a predator's scent on the wind. Do you also get like a tingly feeling about their intent, whether they're hostile or not?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yeah, I think there's an element of just whether, and it's very, very, very vague. It's very unclear. It could be as simple as there are hostile eyes watching, and it doesn't mean they're about to pounce on me and rip off my head, but it definitely means there's someone watching and I'm unwanted here at the very least. They might be about to pounce on me and rip off my head.
So would it be fair to say that maybe kind of like a dog when you get your hackles up, the hair stands up? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
Okay. So you get that feeling. You catch Catherine Mercer's scent on the wind. Catherine is the patrician who the Princeps owed a major debt to. Now that the Princeps is gone, Catherine lost out on that investment, and I think she doesn't play coy. She simply, I think as you're going further into the fire, I think she's just standing by a wall as you walk past. I think she just you kind of get that that sense of her presence there, and she's just staring at you with her cold eyes.
So there's okay. There's a split second where I'm frozen, and then I put in that really fake smile. Catherine, so good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm happy the fires haven't reached you.
Well, the fires haven't reached me, but I have it on good authority that not everyone in our humble community can say that.
So it sounds. The demise of a great, great man. May he rest in
And
peace.
I wouldn't suppose that you or your sly maker would have had anything to do with that.
Oh, me? Oh, of course, I had nothing to do with that. Clearly, Catherine, that is just so not what I'm interested in. No. As for Mary, and I like glance meaningfully over at Mercer when I say that. Like I'm trying to sort of signal like. As for Mary, well,
yeah, so I think it's fair to say that poor Mercer. And so you've chosen Mary. You've chosen the name Mercer for your blood slave. Is your blood slave actually related to Catherine? Are they part of the same family?
He's a gift from Catherine. That's why he has that. So the names indicate.
Oh yeah, okay, I got
that, like some ownership that she gave him to me, and that's why I owe her a minor debt for it because he's.
No, she owes you a minor debt for a well-groomed blood slave. So,
she does.
Yeah.
Oops.
So
right.
she owes you, not you don't owe her.
My apologies. So we'll say that there was a trade of various services, and I got this person from her as part of this exchange. So he was somebody that she had groomed to do this kind of work.
How about her husband?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, perfect.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm a bad person. I really am. Okay, great. So he knows Catherine well, and he knows that she has no warm, fuzzy spot in her heart for him, and his blood turns to ice. And Mary, you pick up on that immediately, and you know that there's only one person who could possibly create that kind of reaction in him. And so I mean the whole the George playing and Mary I think you have a clear opportunity to take possession of George if you wanted to, and I think you have a pretty good idea of why it is that he's or what exactly is going on. So you're on mute again, Mark.
He's only got one blood left, so I'm gonna let it go.
He does only have one blood left. Yeah.
Do it.
So yeah. What do you want to do there?
I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna let him watch and listen and try to connect with him later.
Oh, okay. So George, you look over at Mercer, and Mercer just kind of looks back at you and looks at Catherine and looks back at you, and as you're like, and Mary, and Mary leaves you hanging.
Uh-huh.
And Catherine picks up on this and says, it would appear that Mary has offered you as the it would appear that Mary has offered up you in recompense for Charles' death.
Is she saying this to me, or is she saying this to Mercer?
To you.
Oh, to me.
Yeah. Mary has just left you hanging, and in Catherine's mind, Mary must be guilty, but killing for the death of her maker, offering up her child for justice, the sake of justice. So that's the vibe that she's getting from this situation.
And I'm like, oh no, oh goodness, no, Catherine. You see, while I certainly cannot say with confidence that Mary did not participate in the death of your sire. I can, on the other hand, tell you that I'm out here looking for information, and that it was only happenstance that brought me by here. Now, I was going to provide Mary with this information, whatever I learned from my many little sources. I would be happy to share that same information with you, Catherine, pointing you perhaps to whomsoever truly does deserve your justice.
I have no doubt that you believe what you're saying, George, but I think we both know that Mary is a far better manipulator than you are. I think it would be best for you and for all of us, really, if you surrendered yourself to my custody, where we could have a proper trial to sort out the facts.
Oh, Catherine, come now, come now. That, of course, would simply be improper in the current state of the city. What with the fire and all of this madness and chaos. I will tell you what. Why don't you hold on to this gentleman? I push Mercer toward her. And I'll be back later to pick him up. Bye.
So are you going to just literally start running now?
It sounds like she's really not going to listen to me. It's like she seems a little bit like either really angry or a little bit off kilter with all this madness to me. So I think like I'm picking up on this. Like okay.
I wouldn't say that she's angry. She's looking at you and she doesn't betray anger as an emotion. She sees. I think the wheels. I think what you see her doing is seizing on an opportunity here, because if she has you, then she has leverage on Mary. She also has a somebody to blame and a reason to become princeps herself.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't to say that you would be put to death as a result of this.
Oh, okay.
But I think she's not going to let you run away, but like that, we'll get to that in a second. So,
sure.
But you don't pick up that it doesn't look like she honestly believes that you deserve this. It just right. you are a convenient patsy, and she wants to try to get you in her control peacefully,
right.
But potentially violently if she has to. If you run away, then I won't get to say what I wanted to say about her husband. But that's your choice.
I think the key is that as soon as I can, I mean, you're telling me that I can pick up on she's not interested in killing me. For a little bit, it sounded like she was going to kill me to get back at Mary. I'm totally cool with like pledging allegiance to Catherine and being like, yes, I will serve you unto the end of days. If that means I won't die.
Yeah. So if you start realizing, if you express that you understand that this is a game that you're now playing, then we can have a dialogue and negotiate.
Definitely. That's what I'll do. I'll be like,
okay.
Oh, Catherine, truly you have been wronged this night, and though I know it be some small restitution for the pain you must truly be feeling, I do pledge myself to you until such a time as things can be made right.
She smiles and looks at you. She has this very, bless your heart kind of smile, and she says, "Well, George, it's good to know that some of Mary's skill as a predator has worn off on you. I'm sure that even dear Charles, would be proud of his grandchild. Let us find Mary together and bring her into custody for a trial among her peers."
Indeed, that I would never stand in the way of such righteous justice.
And of course, you would testify against her. Is that right?
Right, that part. if that is the course to justice, then so be it.
Because of course, to help, well, of course your service and your loyalty will be rewarded.
Oh, of course. Well then. Yes, I would be. I would do whatever was necessary in order to ensure that on this night, the proper parties are punished.
And so that's what you tell her.
Yes.
Okay, and do you actually mean that, or is that just something that you are telling her?
I am hedging like a mofo, and that's partly because I'm still anticipating getting back information from my network of people. I'm hoping to actually find out who really did it, and like that information should give me a huge amount of leverage on somebody.
Right.
But in the meantime, if that doesn't happen, if I don't get that information in time or whatever, oh yeah, totally, my life is on the line. I will absolutely support Catherine. Right? This isn't about justice at all. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So then, shall we go find Mary?
Sure.
Excellent. Yeah. So I think you take a fairly let's see, how would I play this? Catherine needs. So in order for Catherine to best Anna's the other patrician, and become princeps, Catherine needs to find the scapegoat. So I think that she will leave Anna to her own dealings, and we'll go with you to find Mary. Call of Game at 8:45, 8:50. Sure, yeah, that gives us another half hour or so.
Cool.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, so are you intending to lead Catherine to Mary? Are you going to be sincere in that part of the effort?
Oh, because I can probably find Mary because of this bond, whereas Catherine probably can't.
I think it would be easier for you to do this for sure.
Got it. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so I think that for sure is worth a minor debt. So you can add a minor debt from Catherine to you, and it may become depending on how this plays out in the end. So I think we'll jump back to James here. So James, John comes back to you, and he has a pen in his hand. But you notice something different about John. He has, instead of his normal, I don't know, rough and tumble sailor self, he is very, very reserved and procedural when he comes to you. Everything else about him, every last detail is identical to the last time you saw him. He has the princeps pen in hand, but he is not himself. You can tell that some other predator must have gotten to him in some way. What do you do?
Okay. So he just kind of studies him for a minute, then kind of leans back and, kicks the chair out that's opposite from him on the table, under the table, and sit down.
So he does in a very mechanical sort of way and presents you the pen. I think at that point you get the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. It's not him. He's just led you. He's just led another predator here.
Mm-hmm.
At the doorway, you, out of the corner of your eye, see Anna Grant, the other patrician.
Of course. Anna, won't you join us?
Oh no, I wouldn't dare set foot in this hive. Why don't you come out here and speak in a place that's more proper?
Well, I like my hives, but if you want to take this outside, I'll be happy to oblige you.
Awesome. So she has Jason there, who is your or you're James too. That's right. So yeah, she has her you know that's Catherine's. Oh, so never mind, not Jason. So yeah, I'm sorry, but the name swap earlier. You're right. There are too many J characters in here.
I'm sorry. It's contagious.
Yeah, no worries. We'll take care of that in the final form of this. Yeah, so Anna is there, and she has um, her chosen Madame Jeanne with her, and who is the puppet master. And uh, the when the two of you kind of when the three of you kind of make your way into an alley or so, she makes a proposition to you. She says, if we can, she says, James, dear, I know that I know what the rumors say, but I'm certain that they're not true.
And how would you be so certain of that?
Oh well, I believe that Catherine's ambitions far exceed her greed. I believe that she is making a clever move for power and is using you as a convenient scapegoat.
Well, it's nice of you to come warn me.
Oh, I'm not here to warn you. I'm here to enlist your help. As a, you know, if yeah, I think she says, why not turn the tables on Catherine? I could be Princeps instead of her, and with her out of the way and Charles out of the way, there's no reason that you couldn't be a patrician yourself.
Go on.
Well, I will. I think it's quite simple, really. All we have to do is eliminate Catherine and place the blame on Mary. And when she says we, you know that she means you.
Of course she does.
But so why don't you? So you have a special move, your status move, Regicide. Why don't you tell us about that move? Because this is an opportunity for you.
So, status move, Regicide. When you destroy a patrician, you take their place. Your new peers become your rivals, and you make enemies of predators your victim owed major debts to. And then the other predators start openly plotting your destruction to gain your title as you have done.
Yeah, so you're in an interesting position, right? So you have a patrician standing right in front of you. You know that if you were to kill Anna, that who would challenge your claim for patrician? Certainly none of the other plebeians. What would they do? Or you could take her up on her offer to off Catherine, and then while yes, other predators might be plotting their revenge, at least you would have the Princeps on your side if she were to become Princeps instead of Catherine. So you have a choice to make. I think you could, I think it would be unwise to not choose either option, but I think you have a golden opportunity here. But the choice is certainly yours to make.
Sure. Well, I doubt the community would just take my word for it.
Oh, of course not. You need friends. And I would gladly vouch for your innocence in the death of our dearly departed Charles.
And then all that remains is to remove Miss Mercer. Correct?
Yes, and I believe that yes, all that remains is to remove Ms. Mercer, and I believe that she kind of gestures to the pen. I believe that all of the proof that we need in order to blame Mary is at hand.
Just checking on where her hunting grounds are. So her hunting grounds are the Olympic Hotel. Oh, it's been destroyed. That's okay.
With George and Mercer, the hapless blood slave. Well, maybe he's not hapless. That might not be fair. I think he's certain.
He's like half and half hapless.
Yeah, he's half hapless, right? Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I've lost one of my friends, and he kind of jerks ahead back to the bar, or back to John, perhaps you can take care of that small matter.
So that I understand, when you say that, what do you mean?
So basically, John has the pen.
Oh yeah, he's just carrying it.
They currently have control of John.
Oh yes, the taking care of the pen. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yes, of course. She just, it's nothing, and I think John sort of stands up and robotically walks to the door and just sort of falls in line behind Anna. Then Anna kind of looks at you before turning to walk away, and she says, "Then I take it we have an agreement."
I do like to make new friends.
As do I. I think you will make a fine patrician. Let me know when the deed is done.
Now I'm confused.
Oh, when you've killed.
Oh well, yeah, but we're pitting Andrea. No, we're blaming her, right, by putting the pin in the.
Oh, we're gonna blame Mary. So you're gonna right. Anna's plan is for you to kill Catherine, and that she will use the evidence that she has to blame Mary for the death of the Princeps instead of you.
Gotcha.
And then, although what remains to be seen how she will handle Catherine's demise, but I'm sure that I'm sure that she's crafting some cover story for that as well. I mean, the fire is, in this point, burning, right? So what's one more predator to die in the fire tonight?
That'd be a shame. Okie dokie. I will let you know.
She does a little curtsy, and she and Madame Jean and John, trailing behind, by a solid 10 paces, make their way out of Skid Row, where they stick out like sore thumbs. Excellent. Since we're running short on time for our session, I think we'll speed ahead towards our conclusion. I think you have the opportunity to intercept Catherine and George as they make their way toward Mary. And Mary, given that you have Mercer in their company, you have the opportunity to interfere, join, however you choose to do that.
So I don't think James fights particularly fair. And since he is all about the violence and the death and destruction, I think he's surprised to find George in her company, but that sure as heck is not going to stop him. So he steps out kind of from an alley, probably much too close, and just says, "You killed Charles," and then snarls and is just going to totally attack her.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So that is going to happen. So in the moments leading up to this, I think Mary, you get, I think Mercer's bowels turn to water, and you know that this is a life or death situation for him. So since you have the most security I think we'll start with you. What are you doing in this situation?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes, sorry.
I think I just want him to. I give him the order to stay. I want to watch this, right? I want him to know what's going on. So, sort of like the step back from the violence, but don't leave.
All right, so you are essentially going to spend his last blood in order to force him to do this against his will, right?
It's true because he would normally want to leave, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is about to be a bloodbath, and if left to his own devices, he will run away or attempt to.
Yeah, I'll let him run. That's fine. I'll let him run. I'll tell him to come home. Actually, come back to me.
Okay. Yeah. So, George. So, Catherine locks eyes with James, and then her eyes dart back to you, and this happens as you watch Mercer, who she doesn't even acknowledge it anymore. He turns and starts running, up the hill towards, away from the fight towards Mary, and you are kind of, maybe not literally, but certainly figuratively in between the devil and the patrician in what is certain to be a conflict. How do you react in these split seconds before blood is drawn?
Well, James is clearly not saying this to me. James is focused on Catherine, right?
Yes, but she gives you. She looks at you to try and gauge your reaction and possibly your allegiance in these tense moments.
Yeah, that's a really good question. That's a really good question.
So before you answer, let me talk about the move fight just a little bit, because that's what's about to happen here, and this will be important because you don't necessarily need to tip your hand, but you'll certainly want to be thinking about how you're going to handle this, whether you're going to try and avoid the fight, which I think is pretty difficult, but I'm certainly open to whatever you might do. Okay, so the way fight works is when you escalate to violence, it's life or death for all the predators who are involved. I think right now Mary is the only one of you who isn't involved in this. And so what you will do is you will in secret bet a number of blood. It can be any number of blood, but it can't exceed the amount of blood that you have, and we'll reveal how much blood each of us has spent. So that'll be George and James and Catherine. We'll all reveal, and then after the reveal, you'll decide, if you're in it for yourself or if you're supporting somebody else, and if so, who. So in this moment, as we lead up to fight, you George can give whatever indications to Catherine or to James that you want, but you'll be deciding, after we've revealed how much blood is spent in fight, whose side you're on. So the important thing, though, is whichever predator spends the most blood decides the fate of all of the other predators in the fight, and that means life or death. So choose carefully. So in that moment, when Catherine glances at you, what is your reaction?
Besides panic, it's a general look of like I shift my body so that I'm facing James, so that I indicate that I'm like with her on her side.
Then so Catherine's eyes then lock with you, James, as you make your move. Do you have any catchy one-liner to say before the throwdown?
No, he's not much of a talker.
It's not much.
He just likes the blood and the guts and the gore. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have a reputation. So excellent. All right. So I think we are now in the midst of a fight. So what we'll do is just because we don't have, since we're online, I think we'll just use your hands just basically outside of the camera frame. Just decide how many blood that you're going to spend for your character, and then I'll count to 3, and we'll just show them to the camera. And so when you're ready, let me know.
But when we reveal that, that's when we reveal what side we're actually on, right?
Yeah, so we'll reveal blood first, and then afterwards, you can decide if you're supporting the other predators or not. So I think clearly there are at least 2 sides of this conflict.
Yes.
There's James and there's Catherine. I think your position is the one that's not certain, George.
Right.
So, but otherwise, I think it's pretty well established.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So everyone ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Reveal. I can't see all of your fingers, Andrea.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's maybe pull back.
Yeah, there you go. So 6. Okay,
6.
and so George is 4. Is that right?
4.
So both Catherine and James have bet 6 blood, but James, you have a special ability for your playbook. If you want to share that with us.
I do. I have a move called Cold-Blooded. When you fight another predator and spend at least 5 blood, add 1 to the result. So I actually have a 7. And even if I didn't have a 7, when you tie for the most blood spent, you win instead.
Yes. So you are essentially ahead by 2 right now. At least over Catherine. Okay, so George, whose side do you take? Do you take the devil or do you take the patrician? Because your choice determines the fate of this conflict.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So who do you want to be alive when the dust settles? That's the real critical swinger here. Who do you want to have to contend with in the days to come, or actually could very well be in the moments to come?
Yeah. Well, for multiple reasons. So I'm imagining this is James and Catherine slip forward to start tussling and swiping at each other, and then there's that split second where I meet James's eyes, and then I sweep up behind Catherine and I hold her in place so that James can disembowel her.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
So James, then you are so James and George are victorious over Catherine. So
Yes.
James, because you have bet the most blood on your side, you decide the fate of both Catherine and George, life or death. They will get to say how they meet their fate. But I always love to give the players the opportunity to narrate how NPCs die. So I will grant a narrative license to you. But so first off, Catherine, I presume dead.
Totally dead.
Okay, I mean, there is an option though, so you can let her if you let her live. If she loses and you spare her, she becomes a pariah and will remain a pariah until she can pay you a major debt. So that is an option. It would certainly be tidier if you kill her, and of course your move regicide. In order for that to properly work, you would have to kill her in order to do that. So does that? I'm just saying that for full disclosure. I don't see that changing your decision.
Oh no, I'm totally dead.
Dead. Okay, so the red X stands. Excellent. Okay, so what about George? Does he live or does he die?
Live. He lives. Live.
Yeah, he lives. Only because Brendan wants it so bad.
No.
Don't do that. No, don't cave.
No.
Don't let him strong arm you just because he organized this thing. He doesn't. Don't cut him any slack.
I could have made you lose, but I didn't.
And that's the best part. That's what makes it so sweet.
No, I live. Let me live.
It's fine. He can live.
So thumbs up. Okay.
Yes.
Does he
Okay.
does he owe her a debt for letting him live?
Oh, he's not on the losing side, so he's on the winning side. So it's only if you spare someone who lost the fight does that apply to. Great. Yeah. So James, why don't you tell us how Catherine dies? How do you do it? How do you kill her?
Well, oh boy, I feel like I need to make this as violent as possible. So,
Within the limits of the R rating, right?
within the limits of the R rating.
I mean, not that I mind, but we've made a promise.
We have an
to our
audience.
viewers, haven't we? Yes.
Yes. So since she's being kind of held in place, and I imagine there's kind of a moment of surprise distraction when she realizes that George has totally betrayed her. And by that point,
it's not as huge of a surprise. It's more of a disappointment, really.
disappointed distraction.
Right.
So so by the time that thought even really processes, James was lunging for her anyway. So I think he kind of sinks his fangs into her throat and kind of starts to tear. At the same time, within the limits of our R rating, kind of his hand kind of sinks into her chest and like a punch, which obviously being super super strong goes right through.
Into her heart.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did I stay in my little box?
I think that's fair. Awesome. So George, you get to say how you meet your fate, which is live. So you get to describe your part in this and how you survive.
Cool. Yeah. So after that horrible mess, I back off with my hands up, and I'm like, "Thank goodness for you coming, James. She was mad. She was insane. Of course, she must have been the one who did the murder. Of course. I was so happy to assist you in bringing this crazed monster to justice. Please, if I can assist you in any other way, if you would like any other services that I might provide you with, I would be more than happy to."
Why don't you run along and I forgot her name.
Mary.
Tell Miss Grant.
Oh.
That the culprit has been discovered.
Of course, I would be more than happy to tell Anna Grant about your good deeds, your service to justice here on this night.
Less talking, more walking.
You were getting a little Zoidberg.
Yes, a little Zoidberg.
Wonderful. Okay, so what do you? So we'll fast forward to that point since we're just about to wrap up. So what do you tell Anna?
I tell her that it was a pitched battle that James nearly lost, and if I hadn't intervened at the last minute, truly the monster that was Catherine Mercer would have won the day. But thanks to my noble and valiant efforts, she was brought low, and James has successfully served justice.
Nice. Okay, so James, so while Catherine is dead, and now George and Anna are having a conference, there's a small complication in that Anna intends to blame Mary. Are you doing anything? I mean, so right now, I think we'll when we cut we'll see if what happens to George will be a mystery that maybe in a future episode we'll discover. Are you intending to take it upon yourself to do anything to confront Mary or to otherwise further Anna's agenda?
I think I'm actually going to go to Mary and tell her that Anna has the pen and so therefore it must be the one who did it.
Ah, you're double crossing.
Yes.
Nice.
We'll just wipe out the whole hierarchy. It'll be fine.
Okay, well, so we could. Are you intending to enlist Mary to help you to kill Anna? Is that your play?
Only if she cared at all about our maker.
Anna is not Mary's maker, isn't? I
No,
thought
no,
it was,
no. I'm sorry.
About Charles.
Charles.
Oh, about Charles.
Yeah.
Do you tell Mary that Anna intends to frame her? Then is that?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So before she gets here, I'd like to. I didn't think Catherine would move so quickly, and the Mercer's. I knew she was in play because of Mercer's kind of chaos, but I assume he arrives back to my place before James does, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Great.
And I think you get the distinct. I mean, I don't know. Since for the sake of time, let's say that your connection, like you're aware that George was not killed in that fight.
Sure. Yeah. So what I do is I think that I was planning on going to Catherine to hopefully strike a deal, but that apparently did not move fast enough. So instead, I'm going to do some dark magic before James arrives. So it says, when I perform a black sacrament to invoke the powers of hell, say what you pray for in reward, then perform a blood-soaked ritual. 5 blood is a pathetic offering, 10 blood is a modest offering. So I'd like to take the guy's body and do a ritual where I sort of remove the organs and like into a pentagram and summon the powers of hell. And I mean, I don't know if he has any blood left in him. Like, I took all the blood that was probably useful, but I don't know if that counts for anything. So I will close the difference with blood from my veins. Like, I'll cut my wrists and give 10 blood. So you basically exhaust myself.
Don't forget that. Well, I mean, if I assume this was the guy that you killed while feeding earlier that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So do you recall that his wife is still alive and is your blood slave?
Yeah. I gotta keep things changed up though. I like to keep her. I'll kill Mercer instead, because now he's a known quantity, and I gotta keep things.
Yeah. Well, so Mercer has 6 blood in him because he has the 1 blood that you gave him plus 5 that would normally course through his veins.
Yeah. So I thank him for his report, snap his neck, and then use him. So yeah, that'll get us up to 10 blood for the ritual. And,
for a modest offering. Okay, so what do you? Right. So you asked you invoke the powers of hell. What are you hoping to receive from them?
I want evidence of who really killed Charles.
You want to know who really killed Charles?
I want to know. All I've ever wanted is the truth.
And you want evidence.
I want evidence. Yeah.
I think that's the key part. It's not just to know, but you want some proof of who did it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me ask. Okay. So first off, James was rumored to have done it. James, did you actually kill the Princeps?
Nope.
No. Dun dun dun. Okay. So then I'll look at my map of NPCs. I think I'm going. There we go. Thank you. I'm going to say, based on the way all of the deaths are kind of aligned, I'm going to say that Anna, in fact, orchestrated the death of the Princeps.
Yes.
So Anna is Charles. And so Charles was Anna's maker, and she did it. I love it. I think it needs some exclamation marks though. Okay, so what is it? Well, why don't you tell us what? So you have definitive proof that she did it. So the powers of hell, it's a modest offering. So I don't think you possess it, but I think so. Why don't we say, because it's a modest offering, why don't we say that the pin somehow is proof of this whole thing going down? But why don't you tell us how it is that pen is related to the death of the Princeps?
What's been the history of the pen so far?
Why don't you tell us? Basically, as established, George or James rather sent John the down on his luck sailor to go find it, and is now toting the evidence, with Anna and Madame Jeanne, which is where George is now. So that's what we've established. So why don't you tell us how that pen, since you've discovered this, why don't you tell us how that pen is connected to the Princeps' death?
Great. So I think that when an object is used to kill a vampire, the last moment is imprinted upon the object, so the stake. So certain, like if you encounter a hunter and they have like a stake or a weapon, that you might echo with the deaths of 100 vampires. But Anna actually used this pen to kill Charles. Like she stabbed him in the throat with it, and then just kind of worked it around until his body turned to ash. So,
or how about this? What if the pen could be made out of wood, right? So
yeah, cool.
Maybe, is that good?
Yeah, she staked him with it for sure. Yeah, that's
nice.
Great.
Okay.
Cool. So I just know this. That's what Hell has given me, is that the pen, I know that the pen is actually evidence.
Right.
So I do the ritual, and the pen comes to me wrapped in fire and flame and symbols, and I know what it is. And when James arrives at my place, the new blood slave welcomes him down into the basement where I've basically dissected this guy, killed Mercer, and there's blood just everywhere. I'm drenched in it, right? Like the bloody ritual is all over.
Nice. I think welcome is maybe a strong term there. I think she has the presence to open the door at this point, but not she's just kind of there. She exists. She's accounted for, but not really present. So James, you see Mary just covered in blood and viscera, and you see sort of a sparkle, possibly a flame, even in her eyes as she. As you make eye contact with her.
And
so what do you do?
I think James is he's kind of tense, like he's expecting he's gonna have to defend himself here because that's kind of a mess. Mary?
For a second she doesn't respond, she just kind of lost it, and she looks up. Oh, James, you didn't do it, did you?
No, I came to tell you that Anna did it.
You came to tell me that. But you don't know if it's true, do you?
I have my suspicions.
I have knowledge. Where's the pen?
She has it.
That's...
For now, she's planning on planting it somewhere to blame you.
Huh. I would encourage her to do that. As close to me as possible. Run along.
Oh, okay.
This will all sort itself out soon. And I turn back to the guy and start to put his organs back in the body.
Wow.
It would be, oh man, you could have your blood slave do that, right? She'd just be like.
Yeah, she's helping me. We're doing it together. It's a team effort.
Nice. It's a team effort. Her husband is brutally murdered and torn apart, and organs arranged in a satanic ritual, and she's just sort of, putting the liver back together. Yeah, awesome. I love it. Okay, so Brandon, what do you think? Do we have time for one more scene?
I think if we can keep it short, yeah. Assuming everybody else is good with that. Sure. Let's do it.
So Mark, clearly you have something in mind here. So how do you see this final thing going down? We'll just make it happen.
Sure. So she comes and plants like one of her little minions comes and plants the object in my haven or near my stuff.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So when I have it, I mean, do we ever get together? Like, is there a time for folks to get together, like all the vampires, or is it just kind of always on a 1-to-1 basis?
Oh, I think that basically Anna's next move is to gather everyone who's still alive and proclaim herself the new Princeps.
Oh, yeah, good. I'm good with that. Let's do that. So,
Okay.
so I think when she does that, I don't interfere or anything like that. I go up to her afterwards, and I fish the pen out of my pocket, and I'm going to spend a blood to flaunt what I have, so I can project this like project whatever this thing, the image that it is in there, out to her, right? So she can see she doesn't strike me as somebody who knows much about the supernatural, right? Like
No,
she's not. Yeah.
and you do this in private, right?
I do this in private, yeah.
I think I see what you're playing at here. So yeah, okay, I got you. I'm with you. Yes.
So I say, I pull the pen out, and then as I'm doing it, I just kind of like automatically, like, start to spend that blood and like push that image out to her. What's her reaction?
So your evidence clearly implicates her, right?
Yeah.
So this vision that you're creating, her immediate reaction. So you let her announcement go. So let's briefly backtrack to that. So she proclaims herself Princeps. James, do you support her in that?
Yep.
And then by all rights, you've asserted yourself as a patrician, but she formalizes that by declaring you a patrician. So that way, not only have you done it by right, but you also have her acknowledgement of you as a patrician. And so George, I assume as this is going down that you're playing along as always.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm happily.
So then, great. So then I think that all goes without a hitch. So okay. So back to Mary and Anna. So yeah, she is the new Princeps, and after the sort of celebration, right? Like this is like after the coals have kind of cooled down a little bit. And you go and you confront her with this information. So as Princeps and with so I think her initial reaction is to deal with you to keep it quiet.
Sure.
And so I know that you've got a move that you're probably smirking about. And why don't you tell us about blackmail?
Yeah, so when you blackmail a predator, threatening to expose a dirty little secret that could cause them to lose status. Until that secret is exposed, you are higher in the pecking order than them. Use this leverage to bargain with them. When you expose their dirty little secret, you ruin them. They become a pariah and are forever your nemesis. When you ruin a patrician this way, you gain patrician status. So I'll just say, the city has been through so much, so many lost. All I ask is that we put all this ugliness behind us and look to the future. It's reasonable, isn't it, Anna?
I should think so.
Now, as I counted, the city has traditionally had 2 patricians. One is dead. The other is elevated. All I ask is that you give the open position to someone with the capabilities to guard your secrets and assist you in understanding supernatural threats that may be on your horizon.
She's a clever businesswoman, and she knows that you have some a tremendous amount of leverage on her. So of course she doesn't make a big thing of it. She just says, well, of course someone with your particular skills would be of great use to our community, and I think you've demonstrated time and again your cleverness and tact. So it would honor me to announce you as a patrician.
Excellent. And I slide the pen back into my one of my many pockets and like my little jacket. And I just bow a bit and say, I think you're going to do wonderfully. Just wonderfully. And turn to leave.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap this. So usually what we do at the end of a session is go around and judge everyone's humanity and status. I think the status part, I get to decide. I think that's been established. James and Mary are both now patricians, and George remains a plebeian. If you can spare maybe a couple more minutes, we could go through and do the humanity part. What do you think?
Sure, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the way that so status, since that's your place in the community, that's a GM decision. I get to decide. Humanity, the way that works is you'll kind of briefly state your case. I think I'm monstrous because of X. I think I'm callous because of Y. And the other players will vote and decide if they agree with you or not. And so the other players will decide what your humanity becomes. And in that way, if we were to play a future session, your humanity would now be reflective of how you acted over this session. So why don't we go ahead and start with Mary? What do you think? I think we all know.
So I think my humanity's still monstrous. I did a bunch of awful things, but they were always for reasons. Like they weren't. I didn't just do them to do them. So I think I'm definitely a monster.
As opposed to lost.
As opposed to lost, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, no, I think I'm callous. Like I think. No, that's ridiculous. No, either it's monster or lost. I'm pretty sure I'm still a monster because I'm doing things for reasons rather than just because people are toys.
And you did clean up your mess, right?
I cleaned up the mess. Yep.
Yes. So okay, so Andrea, Brendan, what do you think? Do you think he is monstrous? Do you think he's lost? What do you think?
I think he's still monstrous.
Yeah, it's between monstrous and callous to me, actually, but I'd go with monstrous. Yeah.
Okay, so Mary, you remain monstrous. Okay, James, we'll do you next. You're the other patrician.
Yep.
Where do you think you stand?
I think I'm still at callous. The feeding was a little rough, but I didn't kill her. And I definitely not humane. Definitely not friends with pawns, but I also didn't go around killing everything in sight either.
Okay, do you guys agree?
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
I buy that.
Yeah.
Okay, you stay at callous. Okay, George, how about you? What do you think?
I'm wondering if I have an argument for being humane. I mean, which doesn't mean nice. It just means like human, right? I didn't murder anybody. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't feed on anybody. I didn't do anything particularly heinous. I acted purely in terms of my own survival, but the people who suffered were not people.
Yeah, we're predators, yeah. You also begged for your life just adorably.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I can see a strong argument for that.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think you managed to move up.
Andrea, what do you think?
Yep, that's true. I think
okay,
he.
So... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think he goes up.
Okay. So yeah, you everyone else stays the same, but you, George, you go up to humane.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's a 2-hour or so session of Undying. You killed all basically. You killed your way to the top. Good for you. And yeah, I had a great time. I hope you guys did too.
That was awesome. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought for a second we killed every NPC in the starting relationship map. We did not. We left one alive.
I tried. Mark wouldn't play with me.
Here's our final relationship map, just to call that out. Yeah, very nice.
See, there's still 2 living NPCs. Come on. 3, right? Anna, Jason, and Madame Jin, right? They're all still alive.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I would have to go team up with them next to not die at the hands of you two. That was awesome. Thank you so much for running, Paul.
Absolutely,
Yeah, thank
my
you.
pleasure. Yeah, thank you for having me on Indie Plus.
And so the Undying Kickstarter is still going right now?
Yes, so there's a little over a week and a half left to go, and check it out. We've got PDF, hardcover, and softcover options. The hardcover is going to be really cool. It's definitely worth having it on your shelf. So I highly recommend it. But so that's my plug for my Kickstarter. I've really enjoyed making Undying, and I really enjoy playing it. And I hope you guys do too. Thanks.
Yeah, and just to call it out for everybody else, the Kickstarter's done phenomenally well. Paul, congratulations, because it's doing great. It's almost doubled its goal with, like you said, a week and a half left. So absolutely go check out the Kickstarter. We'll have a link to it in the show notes and maybe even on the screen. Right there. If people want to find out more about Undying or talk about it, is there a good place to do that, Paul?
Yeah, so I have a community on G+. That's probably the best place. I can put a link out on the page here for it. You can also get me on G+. Pretty easy to find there too. But yeah, so I think I have maybe some other contact notes on the Kickstarter page too. But
Awesome.
I'll at least put the Undying community page up on the links here. And that's kind of the best place to talk about it.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on and running, Paul. This was great. And thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Mark, for playing. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you liked this video, we at Indie Plus, we do a whole bunch of these. So please subscribe by clicking the button in that corner, I think. And you'll see more awesome exhibition games, see more other content, Dr. Tom the Frog, panels, Indie Plus plays, Chain World, so on and so forth. Lots of madness. So please go ahead and subscribe and check out that good time funness. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.